Well, after finishing Kaiju number 8 season 2, my first thoughts are this. This season was way more serious and I love it. I genuinely think this is where the story actually becomes something bigger. If I had to describe it in one sentence, it would be this. A darker, more intense continuation that raises the stakes and pushes every character forward, even if the ending doesn't fully pay off. And I'll explain what I mean by that later. I feel like season 1 was more about introducing everything, but season 2 is where it really starts testing these characters and the world around them. Going into season 2, I was expecting more fights, more kaiju, and just bigger moments overall. It definitely delivered on that. The action is still clean, still impactful, and honestly it feels more intense this season. But what surprised me the most wasn't even the fights, it was the shift in tone. This season feels heavier. There's less of the lighthearted energy from season 1 and more focus on consequences, pressure, and what it actually means to be part of the defense force. It's not about killing kaiju no more, it's about surviving in a situation where anything can go wrong at any moment. Kafka's development this season was easily one of the biggest highlights. In season 1, he was chasing a dream, trying to catch up to everyone else and just happy to be there. But now everything's different. He's Kaiju number 8 and that creates a completely different kind of pressure. You see him struggle with control, how people view him, and even how he views himself. There are moments where he doesn't fully trust what he's capable of, and that internal conflict really carries a lot this season. At the same time, you see he's still trying to grow, trying to prove that he will fight for humanity, and even if it's turning him into something that will completely remove his humanity. Now, I'll be real, if there's one weakness with the season, I really think it's the ending. Not because it's bad, but because it just felt lackluster. It didn't feel like a full payoff for Kafka. We spent the entire season seeing him struggle with himself, his friends, and his training. He's been working towards controlling his power, proving he belongs, and becoming someone that the defense force can actually rely on. So going into those final episodes, I was expecting the one moment where everything comes together, but we didn't really get that. He transforms, which is cool, and it just stops there. We don't really see his training pull off in any way, but I understand they're building anticipation for season 3. But I just feel like we were missing that final moment in the show. Like, all that build-up didn't hit yet, but of course, they're building up the hype for season 3, and season 3 is probably gonna hit with a bang. But I really wish we at least saw one moment for Kafka to show how much he's grown, because we didn't really get to see that. That being said though, even though Kafka didn't get his big moment, everyone else definitely stepped up. Seeing all the top fighters in the defense force go all out and still struggle was crazy. These are supposed to be the strongest people humanity has on their side, and they're getting pushed to their limits, and some of them are just straight up getting overwhelmed. And that's when it really hits you that this isn't the same kind of threat anymore. This isn't just random kaiju attacks. This is calculated and very dangerous. And that brings me to Kaiju number 9, because he completely changes everything in this season. The fact that he attacked ISO at the very beginning of the season, direct general, that was insane. That's not something you usually see happen that early on in the season for a show like this. Something taking out someone so important right away sets the tone for everything else that comes after. And the crazy part is, he actually pulls it off. Pulling off the strongest, most important figures in the defense force was such a bold move, and it worked. It makes the entire situation feel so much more real, because now you know no one is safe. And because of that, it forces everyone else to step up, not just as soldiers, but as leaders. You really see that with characters like Reno, Hikaru, and Aiharu. I probably just butchered the shit out of those names. But they're not just supporting characters anymore. They're stepping into bigger roles and actually handling it. They don't fold under pressure, and you can see their growth clearly this season, especially with how they fight and how they carry themselves. It feels like they're slowly becoming the next generation of the defense force, and that transition is handled really well. And we also get a moment that has been long overdue with Kafka and Mina. They haven't had a long conversation like this the entire runtime of this show, but it still felt natural. It didn't feel forced or awkward. After all those years of barely talking, you can tell they still understand each other better than anyone else. That connection is still there, and it adds a lot more depth to the relationship moving forward, because we finally got some clarity between these two characters. Then we get to the final battles, and this is where it starts to feel very different. These new advanced kaiju show up, specifically assigned to target members of the task force, because they have strengths that will overcome those people's weaknesses. Now that is scary. Kaiju number 9 has been studying everyone. not just watching them fight, but actually learning their strengths, weaknesses, and patterns. And that line they dropped about how humanity has always been the one hunting and studying everyone else, because for the first time, humans are not the ones hunting. They're the ones being hunted and analyzed. Overall, I think season 2 is a big step up in terms of story, tone, and character development. It's darker, more intense, and it raises the stakes in a way season 1 didn't. Although it didn't end with some payoff for Kafka in some sort of fight, I know that they're building up for season 3. This season feels like a setup for something huge, and honestly, I am so excited for what comes next. If season 1 was chasing a dream, then season 2 is about dealing with the reality of it. And season 3 has to be your dream becoming reality. That is way more interesting. If you watched the video all the way through, thank you so much. It means a lot to me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been wanting to make a video on Kaiju No for a while now. I really enjoyed season 1, but I really do feel like season 2 is a big step up. I can't wait till season 3 comes out. I think season 3 might be the last season for this anime, which is kind of sad to hear, but hopefully it ends out with a bang. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop down some of the animes you've been watching lately so I can see what the season has been releasing out there, because I haven't really been staying in touch with it. But I will see you next one, guys. Have a great day. Peace out, everybody.